Hi, my name is Stephen Rosenberg. Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast. I have a very special guest with us. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. Appreciate you asking me to come and share a little bit tonight. My name is Greg Ganske. I'm a commercial realtor here in Austin, Texas, and been doing it for a little bit now. Just I tell people enough to be dangerous. But what I get to do and have the privilege of doing is working with business owners. And I specifically work with business owners and help them find ways to expand their business, add a location, maybe move into another location that will work better for their existing business. But I tell people I use real estate as a tool. So I want to make sure that at the end of the day, business owners they're focused on the bottom line. So I want to help them find a parcel. Whether they buy it or they lease it, doesn't really matter to me, but a parcel that helps their bottom line, either generate more top line revenue and decrease costs, and hopefully do it both, so it can really help the bottom line.
So how long have you been doing it?
Going on 16 years now.
So a long time.
Yeah.
Primarily here in Austin?
Primarily here in Austin. Yeah.
So, one thing I'd like to get your perspective on someone that's been here more than 10 years is, what has been the biggest change that you've seen over the last 10, 15, 16 years within the real estate industry, specifically commercial?
Yeah, I think specifically with everything in real estate, it's all local. Austin has definitely gone through a big boom, in especially not only in the residential but the commercial side the last 5 or 6 years. So 10 years ago, where you had more vacancies, cost of construction wasn't as high, so the lease rates were a little bit better. Now, just the cost of real estate, whether you're leasing or buying, and the options for clients to pick from are really decreased a lot in the last few years, just because there's not a lot of options out there, and people aren't building a lot of spec places like they were, in previous years. So.
Okay. So, what do you feel like that is going to mean, not only for the current state of the market, but sort of moving forward in a bigger picture?
I think what we're seeing is that these small mom and pop businesses are really having a difficult time handling the cost of the real estate. They're still finding places, but this pricier real estate market is really allowing the bigger guys to come in and play, whereas the small mom and pops are struggling. So I'm seeing a lot, even in a very healthy market, we're seeing long-standing restaurants, bars, other retailers having to close up business because the renewal rates on their leases are really prohibiting them from continuing to operate and having to move.
So you think that's from bigger real estate companies, or do you think that maybe that also has something to do with other outside factors like retail space due to Amazon, for example, in general? I mean, do you think that has anything to do with it, or you feel like it's...
I just think it's the market itself, just the cost of everything, the cost of construction,
okay.
The pricing is pricing out the little guy, and so it's proving to be more challenging to operate a small business in a city like Austin because of the cost of the real estate, whether they buy or to lease.
Okay.
It's not so much the big guys coming in, it's more just overall the market is it's getting expensive and pricey, and so it's only allowing the bigger box retailers and the bigger franchisees and franchises to come on in and to operate. So
okay.
Yeah.
So if you were someone that was maybe starting out in commercial, or you were just a general mom and pop, is there anything that you would suggest to do to, make yourself stand out, make yourself combat that, do something so that you're not just pushed out of the way?
Yeah, so if you're, I think you had two parts to that question. So the first one was the commercial agent that's looking to work in this market.
Right.
And so to help those mom and pops, I think you got to focus more on those tertiary markets outside of the core of Austin, because if you're in the core of Austin, Westlake, downtown Austin, the Domain, it's going to be hard to find a space that's in a price point. A lot of small business owners can afford. So find those other markets either in Round Rock or Cedar Park or...
What about Georgetown?
Even Georgetown, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, where, and then you got to focus, where there's kind of the hubbub of that community where they're still going to get a lot of foot traffic and drive-by traffic, but they're not going to be paying the exorbitant rates
Right.
that you are in downtown Austin. So I think if you can focus on more of those, or even Kyle Buda for that matter too.
Okay.
Yeah. So that from the commercial agent, that's where I would focus if you want to work more with some local business owners. And then for the business owners that are, I tell them the same thing, is just really focus, if it's your first location, don't focus so much on the downtown, the bigger, unless you've got some runway and you've got cash that you can afford to have a longer
Right.
runway. I would focus more on those markets that are outside the core of downtown in Austin.
So, have you seen any shift in marketing approaches? I'm sort of transitioning from sort of what the current market situation is to like what sort of the technology situation is within the real estate industry here. Have you seen anything? Do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, commercial in general is very different than residential. I think residential agents in general have a better handle on the technology and use the technology a lot better than us commercial agents do.
Okay.
It just seems like we're kind of back in the Stone Ages on the way. So lead generation for me personally on the commercial side has really been more old school, word of mouth, like getting out,
really?
meeting business owners, going where business owners hang out, go to networking events, chamber events, different ways to connect with those business owners. That for me has been the best way that I've been able to connect with the business owner community. Because business owners in general, unlike a homeowner, are not going on the internet and Googling properties. I mean, they can find properties on LoopNet, for example, but a lot of the information doesn't reside on LoopNet, and so they're going to need to have an agent to talk to kind of get all the bits and pieces. Whereas if you're a homeowner and you're looking for your next home, you can go online and, I mean, all that information is there. I mean, a lot of home buyers, they know exactly where they're going to buy, what house they're going to buy, even before they even engage with an agent.
Yeah.
So it's a different way. So you really have to find ways to get in front of that business owner outside the internet. That's what I found the best way for me as a commercial agent.
Right. So, two responses to that. One, I agree with you, and I feel like what could possibly shift to where maybe it will change for commercial someday. Those are things that I'm looking at. It's not shown to be the case so far. And then secondly, when you're at those chamber events or any kind of other local events, what is your best approach when you approach a business owner? Is it just very, passive, hey, I do commercial real estate, if you're looking for anything, let me know? Or, I mean, what do you do to differentiate yourself?
Yeah, for me, it's not about me being a commercial agent. People do not care what I do. If I can help them, that's what they care about. And so it's more about just asking them lots of questions about their business. How's business? What are your challenges right now? How is your current, space working for you? Just really diving in and understanding whatever that business owner is coming across. If I can help them on the real estate, great. If I can't, then hopefully there's somebody else that I can refer them to. I'm just looking to provide value. It's not about going up there and talking to them about real estate right off the bat, because they could care less about that. So.
I could not agree with that more. That's one of the things that I really connected with you on right away, was that, that was definitely your intention. And I think that in and of itself, what you just said, is something that is why you're going to be successful forever. Because you have a very genuine and authentic way about you. You genuinely care about people. And I've even recently interacted with other people that know you, and it's very clear that they feel the same way. So it's not just a biased opinion. And I just think that is, I've talked to a lot of other commercial agents, in the last couple months, and that's not necessarily the feeling that I get with all of them. And I just think that strategy or that, genuine approach is going to help prevent other technologies from taking the value out of working with an agent. Like you said, in the residential spec.
space.
Space,
And I think,
yeah.
to talk about the technology, I think, the reason why residential agents, they can generate more leads online is because there is this common MLS database that all homes typically go into.
Right.
In the commercial space,
Will you just really quickly tell people what the MLS is that might not understand this?
so the MLS stands for the Multiple Listing Service, and so every major city has a local MLS. So whether you're in Austin, Texas, whether you're in San Antonio, Los Angeles, they all have their MLS. And so,
is that something that everyone can access, or just real estate agents?
real estate agents have they can access it, and they pay to access it, to have
Right.
that's how they put their listings in, that's how they can, find what's available. The realtors' websites have a tie-in to the MLS so that individuals online, homeowners, they can go search, as long as typically a real estate agent's gonna ask you to put in your email address and phone number so that they can call you or contact you later. But then once you put your contact information, they'll then give you access to
Right.
the MLS.
Okay,
listings.
all right,
Yeah.
continue. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure.
So, but on the commercial side, there isn't this MLS, so to speak. The closest thing to MLS is either LoopNet or CoStar.
Right.
Those are the only two things.
And now they're together.
Now they're together, yeah. CoStar bought LoopNet. And not all commercial agents utilize LoopNet or CoStar. A lot of them do, but a lot of them don't. In the residential world, pretty much, if you're going to be a residential agent, you've got to pay to be in part of the MLS. That's how you operate. And so on the commercial side, you'll have realtors that they don't put their listings online. They'll just put a sign out, on a parcel, right? And
Really?
so there's a lot of, it's just not going online to find a piece of property. You really, as a commercial agent, you've got to really understand your market. You've got to drive around. And there's a lot of deals that are just done off market. They're not even listed. So it's just calling owners of land and of buildings and finding out, what their long-term plans are. And if you've got a buyer that's looking for that type of parcel, just call the owner directly. So it's a lot of non-traditional ways of, what we think of as non-traditional dating, because it's not it's not technology focused. It's more of just calling and an old school cultivating of leads.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you see that there is a way in the future for technology to impede on that? Or do you feel that those will really stay true for the commercial sector?
I think until there is a common multiple listing service platform from the commercial side, I think it's going to be hard to have technology really come in and play, because you're going to have a lot of commercial guys that just aren't playing with that platform, and they're just advertising old school. Or we even have email lists that you can advertise here in Austin. You can advertise these agents. We pay like $100 a year, and you can advertise your needs and your what you have and what you want. So if you're working with a client, you can say, hey, I'm looking for this retail space. I need this many square feet in this part of town. What do you got? And then everybody else can respond and say, hey, here's my flyer. Or if you're advertising a building for lease or to sell, you can put it on that list. So there's a lot of these other mechanisms in place that not necessarily, you don't have to use a multiple listing service to get to either find or to advertise your property.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The last question I have for you is, how do you feel like Amazon is going to affect the real estate industry as a whole?
So there have been a lot of talks about Amazon and how the whole retail space is changing. And so if you look at big retailers like Sears and Penny's, the old school, they're kind of going by the wayside.
Potentially even Walmart.
And Walmart's having to change.
Yeah, right.
They bought Jet.com. They bought some of these other companies to help them compete more with Amazon.
Right.
I think what you're going to see on the retail side is that the big boxes, you're going to have the big guys that can, but they're going to have an online presence, right? I think retail, though, you're going to see more of a shift in retail to more entertainment and food.
Okay.
And if you look at the Domain, for example, they've done a great job of creating more of an entertainment destination. And you've got some retail there, but there's a lot of just entertainment there and a lot of restaurants, a lot of nightlife. And so I think you're going to see more of that happen within the retail space versus you going to a mall and it's just all stores, right? I think we're going to probably see more of that because people want to, when they go out, they want to have an experience, right? It's easy now to
Yes.
go online and shop, and I'm doing a lot of that stuff now. I would rather go out and have a nice meal with my family and throw axes or,
Yeah.
or whatever
Right.
the cool thing is now versus go out and spend 4 hours shopping at a mall when I can go on Amazon or Walmart.com and just shop and have it shipped to my house.
Time.
So,
I think time. The time.
So people are going out to retail now. The time is more quality of time with your family or friends and actually having an experience. So I think you're going to see some of these malls and places transitioning and create more of those kind of users versus the traditional, retailers that we've had the last 20, 30, 40 years.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for being on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Do you want to tell people how they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, if anybody wants to get in touch with me, my cell phone number is 512-769-3230, or you can actually email me at greg.ganske, Ganske, @exprealty.com.
Thanks so much, Greg.
Yeah, you're welcome.